Hey guys, James Diamond here, and welcome to the next episode in the Trance Takeover course here on Sonic Academy. In last episode, we looked at the acids to kind of help with that more trancier feel, and we're going to go one step further in this episode and look at some atmosphere. So instead of just kind of using a sample, bunging it in, adding some effects, we're going to create our own atmosphere. And I quite like to do this sometimes because it's just nice to have a little bit more kind of control over the actual kind of sound of the instrument or the MIDI pattern that's being played, and it's just a nice way to have a little bit more creativity. So I've set up our atmosphere sounds here, and we're simply using a pad. So it's from the Trance Takeover preset pack with Sonic Academy. It's called Archon's Calling, and I've added in the MIDI. Now remember, we're working in the key of C minor in the intro, so we've got the C, E flat, F, and the G, and this should coincide with the G sharp major in the breakdown as well. And I'll just play you to see how it sounds at the moment. So nothing too special at the moment. It's just a pad playing some standard MIDI. But what we're going to do, we will want to render that out, and so then it becomes something like this. So I've got the render, and I'm going to link it to a new channel, and then we are going to start to add some effects onto it. So let's just get this looped for the time being, and I'm going to start off. There's too much high end on it. I really just want to have the kind of mid-range, so I'm going to take a lot of the low and a lot of the high off of it as well. Starting to get there. And now what I want to do is simply oversaturate it in plenty of effects. And what that's going to do, it's going to kind of merge all of those notes together even more. So we realistically only kind of hear the movement of the chords or the notes, but we don't really necessarily hear each individual note kind of starting and finishing. We want to kind of merge them all together. So I'm going to put on some delay, and let's do a really long delay. And I'm going to turn down the dry here. We want to hear just mainly the wet. So as you can hear, we've got that nice long kind of delay going on there. Now, I've got a couple of different reverbs set up. Let's go ahead and just use reverb 2 for the time being. And I'm going to pull the wet all the way up. I'm going to pull the dry down again. Let's make this a big size. We want to make the decay super long. So if you check up here in the right hand corner, you can see how many seconds it is. Let's go to about 9 seconds maybe. We want a low cut. Let's just hear how that sounds. So it's starting to get there. Let's add on another high cut because I'm still feeling that there's a bit too much on there. So that's starting to get a bit more kind of washed out. And for FL Studio users out there, this is just quite a cool little reverb unit. FL Convolver, which has lots of different kind of reverbs built within it. And up here in the blur section, we've got blur pink and blur white. We change it to blur pink, and let's just have a listen to see how that sounds now. So as you can hear, that's really kind of blending all of those nice notes together, which is sounding nice. So let's just pop in, let's just say our kick and the bass, and let's just give the acids playing at the same time. Let's just have that atmosphere playing, and then I'm going to add on some sidechain or some ducking through LFO tool. Let's maybe bring down the volume a little bit. We want about 80% maybe. And let's just see how that sounds with the rest of the track. So that's starting to sound quite nice. We really just want it just kind of faintly in the background. This isn't going to be a forefront sound. It's just something we want to help build these extra layers up, build the atmosphere. That's what it's called. So we can go a couple of steps further, and I was playing around with this earlier just to see how it would sound, and I'm just going to make this a unique pattern. I'm going to get my time stretching tool out, and I'm going to just stretch this all the way. So now we've doubled the length of it. So now it just holds those notes a little bit longer, and of course we could have done it within the actual MIDI pattern itself as well, but this was just something I was playing around with just to kind of show how you can just manipulate manipulate audio after working with MIDI. And then let's go ahead and let's just make this another unique one, which you don't need to because it's already the only one there. And I was thinking maybe let's reverse this one and then put it here at the end. So we start to play the longer one, and then we get the nice reverse of the same sound, so we're going backwards from these notes. So as this chord ends, it then restarts but goes backwards. So let's have a listen to that. So that's sounding quite nice. Maybe let's just turn the volume down of that one a little bit. And it really is just kind of merging both of these sounds together, or both of these MIDI clips together, to create that nice kind of blend. If you don't really know what the notes are themselves, you know what I said at the start, we're not really hearing the individual changes, but we're hearing just the overall kind of atmosphere. So let's put that back in now with everything else playing and get it to the right volume. And there we go, sounding really nice. Now what you could do, you could even render that out again, because there is a bit of a tail from the convolver. It's a long reverb. I'm not really too bothered about that, because this is going to be playing for quite a long time throughout the intro and the breakdown. So I'm not too bothered about there being quite a long tail. But if you are and you want to cut it, then you can render this out, put it back in like we've done here with the first MIDI render, and then you can manipulate it even more. It's a very nice kind of technique to use, and this is going to kind of play in the background for all of the intro and some of the breakdown, and again, just adding to that nice trancey atmosphere. So that's it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.